I thanks again for making it in my world, in my space. Today, I want to share more about the 7 habits that changes life. I'm not talking about a 7 habit that can change your life. I'm talking about a habit that changes life. And the first one is to believe possibilities. When you start believing in possibilities, you are in an infinite abundance of all. That possibly mean you are start to create your own reality and believe that it will manifest. I believe it's a very serious and esoteric ideas, truth, fact. It's just a bond that allows a human to be connected with everything that they want. What we believe is what will save us. All the cultures, the traditions, the histories, the mysteries, they're all about beliefs. And very few, they understand what it really means by believing. When you start believing possibilities, is a capability of start examining your own thoughts. That everything that you are planting in your own thoughts, it's equivalently as you're planting a seed and having a belief that there will be a fruit, a vegetable that will emanate, that will grow from the seed. I mean, we are living in an earth. An earth, it has a cord that functions exactly as an umbilical cord, but an earth cord, it's a human form. But as a being, I have to understand what it's really a capabilities of a human and a being when they are integrated, starting to project their ideas, starting to examining the thoughts, and believing that whatever that I possibly want to achieve, it will happen. How can whatever that you believe to see happening? You have to understand that we are living in an earth that it condenses. It have all the possibilities. And Maxwell, a Maxwell equation and Maxwell talks in a particles. This is a quantum physics. A quantum physics, it really unveils that nothing is really certain. Everything is uncertain. I can just expand my vibrational frequency to a higher level of transition. Then I'll start to induce more of a potential because I'm an omnipotent being in a creation. So my power to start having ideas that are procreated is by in virtue of pre-creating everything on our mind. We have to trust on our mind by believing exactly it's integrating the mind and the heart. You are feeling more of what you're thinking, of what you really make it to be a desire, everything that you need. You have to feel, you have to see in your imagination, you have to create the whole reality. It's just exactly a scenario of a student when they went to a class. They should prepare because they're living in a realm. They know we're living in a space of memory. We live in an earth that contains of a mystery, of a history, of everything is just memory. As soon as we come in our physical being, in our physical body, we start to create, remembering everything that we really want. We are remembering ourselves. That's why they call it salvation in many religions. It's about remembering, but the remembering can create itself by entering the space of the present. What it really means, exactly, we are believing what we want by creating on our own mind, by start to live in a behavior that we really want to see manifesting in the world. Very few people believe in that negative activities can manifest more than a positive activities. And we're constructing the reality that is associating with that kind of reality that we see. It's just the perception. We perceive. And by the act of perceiving, we are starting to know. We have the contact. It's just the world of fractals. And every fractals have contact, communion with a common bond. It's by possibly tapping in our deepest level of our desire that we really want to see. That's when we can start to act. When we start to act, it's by agreeing that a belief of our possible, it can come in a being. A belief is not just a word, an idea that doesn't have an energy. We should breathe in energy. We are the breather. We are the ether. We are the creator. We have to understand how everything, by the act of allowing them to come in our mind, is the act of creating in our space. That's our power of free will. Number 2, we have to associate ourselves with the happiness. We have to smile. We have to be kind, gracious. We have to forgive. The most obstacle and objective to get rid, to eradicate, to find the infinite state of happiness. It's a bliss. A bliss is an energy that exists in us. We just have to find the purpose of what it really means to experience our own happiness. Exactly. It's about forgiving. Forgiving all that have caused us pain, sorrows. We just create an energy form which is of negative by not forgiving. Everything that we forgive, we are only forgiving ourselves. We only stop ourselves from the good. We only step because we don't understand what it really means. We don't have a fundamental knowledge about ourselves. What it takes to be happiness. What it takes to be solitude, alone, and still feel the happy, not lonely. It comes from the attachment of the surroundings. But as we start having more ideas, as we start understanding what it really means for the exuberant bliss to come in our space, we start to forgive. Happiness is simply being humble, being kind. You start to be kind to everyone by being kind in yourself. Just be kind in yourself and allow love to express itself through you. Just be openness, open to people. Never lie to people. Just tell the truth. Tell everything freely. Not judging whether it's good or bad. It's just the interpretation of your mind. Number 3 is being conscious. Being conscious is not simple as it really can be seen, but it's simply how it can be by allowing yourself being conscious. In every word that you say, you're starting to have taste, starting to allow yourself be the expression, be the self, be the space, be the mouth, lips. As soon as you speak the word, just be there for the word. Just see what it really means. Express the word. A word is a very fundamental tool. A very few people among all the creation understand what it really means by the word. I'm not talking about a visual. A word and a visual are the symbols. We live in a world of symbols. And we still have to understand all these symbols by understanding ourselves. As soon as you want to be a conscious, you have to engage in certain activities. Simple, the first one is being present. By being present when you're eating, you start to enjoy food that you're eating. You start to have taste. Reading books. When you read books, you are being there. You're expressing the word. You're allowing the author to interpret everything through you. You're the interpreter. You're creating the reality through other people's word. That's what we are. We have to question everything day to day inside. Be there for ourselves. Conscious is the root, is the tip of the existence. We are the conscious being. But how our state of mind have been intertwined, interaction between ourselves and the creation, it's becoming splitting. They are starting to segregate just because we don't understand the fundamental of being conscious. We are always conscious. Our body, it's always conscious of ourselves. That's why we can maintain the state of being in the frequency of our body and the creation that we see. To see how we are not conscious or whether we are conscious, just be there in every action that you do and see if you are conscious of the activity that you're in or your mind is somewhere else. It's a teleportation of the unconscious mind. Don't allow the unconscious to overcome the reality of your being. We are not unconscious people. When we become unconscious, it really affects all the dimension, starting from the dreams, starting from day to day, understanding, concentration. We are not concentrative on what we're doing because we are allowed the unconscious thing to dwell, to roll in our creation. When we meditate, we are free. We are unblocking the constipation of the unconscious manifestation energy that it really try to block the center and center function in the reality. We have our own astral level of the self. And in that astral level of the self, that's why all the creation is have been expressed. We are having a wave level. Our self is not really a physical. That's why it decay. It's just the perception of the eyes. And the eyes are meant to be conscious of every one in the creation. We have to start being conscious. Because we are the conscious one. We are born conscious. But as soon as we are going elder and elder, in literal, medical, they analyze what it really means for from birth state to 7 years. A children, at that state, you're still pure. A pure consciousness is really flowing all over your existence. You are not being overcome by the senses. You are in an interpretation of seeing, you're absorbing. You ain't giving yet, but from 7 years and upwards, you have to apply what you have been absorbing by interaction with everything. But you really take yourself away. You are getting lost in the space and time. And space and time wasn't really meant for us to get lost in. We are here to create it, to expand it further. As long as if we understand we're the biggest omnipotent being in the existence, we can start to take care of ourselves by being conscious in each and every action that we engage. A consciousness is the state of being conscious. That's the gate, is the doorway to experience the whole consciousness creativity in our human form, in our brain, in our being. We have to have the key. And the key is equivalent to the door. By being conscious, you're allowing the being to come and explore. We're the explorer. We're seeing, we're the traveler. We travel beyond space and time. That's why we travel day and daily. It's our need to go and sleep because we need to travel. That's our creation. We need to be there in existence. However, you can work, you can do everything day to day, not sleeping, but you will need that rest because it's calling you. The reality of this physical sensation is starting to repel and you're starting to be attracted in a space of a conscious state. You have to take care of ourselves. We have to reprogram our subconscious mind and feed it and start to read books of certain knowledge that we really need, not what we have been forced to do. To have an idea of, I want to read book of this content, of this concept. That's the change, that's the paradigm shift. You're allowing yourself the transition from higher level of dimension to the infinite possibility. It's believing. And you are believing, you are the believer. You have to open all the gates. You have to allow all the freedom to come in your being. Just be conscious. Just love. Just be there for everything. Just be there for yourself. If you're not be there for yourself, nothing will be there. Or they will create ideas. And it's very ashamed. I feel pain, which is of positive and negative. At instead, when I'm seeing people unconscious, acting like trying to imitate their role models, trying to live false realities just because they're not conscious of themselves. But if you start being conscious of yourself, it's a greater deal. Number 4, stop judging. Judgmental mind. Only if you know when you're judging anything, you're only judging the limit of yourself. You have to understand. You have to know when to stop. You have to know to stop. You have to understand the variation of one. That we are randomly one, but we are expressing our own consciousness in this consciousness of an expression of myself, of my own free will. I have that potential creativity. I'm here to expand acceptance by accepting, not judging anything. When you judge, you're blocking yourself. When you're judging, you're only exposing yourself. You ain't really exposing what you're judging, because you don't know anything about that thing, but you only know the interpretation and the beliefs, the perception of what that object, what you're judging, that anything that you're judging is really not what it really is. We are seeing our perception, our optic. It's only seeing within us. We're only seeing ourselves. We have to understand. We have to stop judging. Judging won't take us anywhere. We won't grow. We won't achieve. We'll be stuck in the false identities. But when you start judging, you're starting to have access to your own self. You start to accept that everything is really meant what to be. You're starting to be conscious. But stop judging. Stop judging. When you're judging, you're anticipating, you're expecting a certain thing to be in a certain way. So you're judging it to be in a certain way. You start to want to create reality for that certain thing. And nobody have a right to create any reality for anyone. Neither you have a right to create reality of your own. You just have to be there and reality will flow. will unfold everything that is what meant for you. You'll start to have anything that you will start to absorb, because we are a frequential being. We are vibrantly we are really attracting everything which is us. We have to understand the nature of the reality, the nature of the mind, that when we can explore, we can dwell, it will open the doors to the all possible existence. Judgmental, it's negative. You are filled in your mind with some ideas of certain characteristics. That's why you judge. Start questioning and stop judging. When you start questioning, you'll have results, and results you start to understand. You start to have. It's a research. We are in this. We are a researcher. Research yourself. Examine yourself. Never judge anything. Just be yourself. Don't judge. As soon when you stop judging, it's really a process. You're extincting the envy, the greedy. That's why a scripture, a Bible, it says, on heaven doesn't have any judgment. You won't have your lawyer, your judges, to come and face all the consequences. Judging is only meant for the system which is of this physical wickedness. We are not a judgmental beings. We expand the communication with the whole being, with everything, with any object. When we start to stop judging, a tree, everything is living, but we can't see the aliveness of them just because we are judging them, just because of certain information that we have been given. We don't understand. And when we are not understanding, we can't reach the overstanding. Understand. It's the fundamental base of this reality. Understand. Accept. Number 5, overstand balance. When you start overstanding balance, you stop understanding. That's another step of enlightenment. You start to understand that common sense is not common. That negativity only exists by the polarity of positive. Either and pingala, good and bad, a duality, yin and yang, African and American, the good, the goddesses, and the God. Everything exists by the duality. And that duality, what it really means for it to exist in our existence. The balance. We are the balance. We balance. That's why we have a human and a being. A human and a being, they're in balance. It's an harmonious state of consciousness. We're living in a harmonious existence. That's why everything is in balance. We drink and we release. We eat and we excrete. Everything is in balance. We have to understand that a good and a bad, it means nothing for us. We just have to be there and allow them to be there. Not judging anything which is good or bad. It's just the polarity of existence. It's one of the hermetic principles. One of the great minds. We have to understand. That's when we can unveil the understanding of the creation. It's an esoteric. And it's a balance in a mainstream. The balance. They give you an equation. And you have to balance that the left is equal to right. And they always have to be equivalent because everything is in balance. A balance is a symbol. It's a symbol of harmony, of one, of a whole. A good and a bad. That's the origin of the generation that we really exist in. If you don't believe in God, you believe in opposite of that. If you, in life, you understand that there will be a death. And the death, it's alive. It's just a complementary of a life. A sound, when we hear it a balance of symbolizing our own creativity, because we're only hearing sound, and how it stimulates, it's according to our own feelings, mind, ideas, what experience. A sound is only interpreted in our own head, in our own mind. It's our own intelligence. But that intelligence have to be balanced by reading books in this existence, by experiencing, exploring, traveling, doing what you love. Overstanding, it's a whole. You're all overstanding. Please, just do what's right for the existence to create it. The act of overstanding, it's a psychic ability. That's why I'm saying it's an enlightenment. Because you're allowing the flow of the creation inside yourself. It's understanding. It's overstanding the whole, the oneness of the whole, holistic. Being in a cat eye view, conscious like a cat. It have reached the state of Zen. It's overstanding. It's overstanding that everything that it really acts, everything that it really see, it evolves itself by the surroundings, by the creation, by everything that it really think, feel. It's evolving itself. It's really creating its own life, existence. So it's really a process to overstand, because you have to gather yourself around. You have to accept yourself as you really are. Let's go to number 6. Number 6. 6 I sense. Number 6. It's needing more by accepting present. Needing more by accepting present. That's when you have to see that illusion doesn't exist. Enough, it's an illusion. And it doesn't exist. When you really need enough, it doesn't exist. To see and to figure out enough, it's only by finding what we really want and it's our purpose. That's when we can have acceptance and we love more. By accepting what we really have is by accepting ourselves as we really are. And we grow from there. It's a tree, it's a root, it's a seed. It really starts to be blossoming from that acceptance that it has been created, that it's really what it really is. That's when it can blossom what it really is. But if it doesn't know what it really is, it can't have more of what it really is. We're living in a possible infinite world. You have to find yourself. You have to find your purpose, your mission, what you love, your passion. That's when you start to see what I mentioned on number 5, the balance, understanding the balance. It's a transformation. It's a human and being connecting. You transform. You grow from where you were and you really always be there in present. You're embracing the present. You know you're grounding. Life will always be having something for you. That's the tip. That's the core. Life will always have something for you. You just live. It will give everything. Everything is for you. You have everything that you really need. Every characteristic that you really want, it have its own results. As long as if you're existing, never mind about anything. Life will take care of that. You just live. Just create what you want. Just be present, accepting. You have to detach from the attachment. Attachment are the pain. They cause sorrows. They cause envy. They cause death. Separation. When you really attach to something that someone will achieve, you start to have other ideas. Please know that what we want and what we need, that's what is enough. We'll expand from there. Just find the purpose of yourself. Just appreciate what other people are doing. Just give, you will receive. Accept, bro. Let's go to number 7. Number 7. This is the only real number. Number 7, eat and drink healthy. Healthy mind, healthy system, compassion, connection, communication, self-expression, enthusiasm, more natural, real life, unknown and unknown are parallel. When we start to eat and drink healthy, we are more in tune with our own true purpose. Our own body is a transport. Our own body is a temple. And this temple, it needs to be taken care, to be cleansed. Not only for the mind, it have own food for thoughts, food for soul, food to soul. When you eat, what you eat, it's really shape, mold who you are. We know a human is a system, a human body. It has its own cells, glands, organs, and everything in this system. To be natural, it needs a certain energy that can be converted to be in a natural form. The more we have a natural food, the higher we are becoming more alive, more enthusiasm, more of compassion. As a food, what really food is, it's only a weapon. Food are made of substances, so you can always remain hungry in order to be enslaved in a society. You keep on working in order to. A food is the most essential needs in a human existence. A drink, a water that we drink, how it has been cleansed, the chloroform of cleaning water. If you can really see what is a pineal gland, a third eye, it needs a more of cleansed water, and it has a certain toxic that is really allergic to. We're still talking about a third eye, a pineal gland. It allows us to see in the darkness, to have a more visual vivid of object. When we in dream, when we just close our eyes, I can still see the whole infinite, just free space, calm. What really made me to see what I'm really seeing? It's a melanin. It's secreted on the third eye. A water that we drink, a food that we eat. It really associated with all the mechanism of the human system. A cell, it have an immune system. It's a soldiers that take care of everything that we really see. It's really in a system. They're working itself naturally. And to be more influential and more productive, more conceive of ideas that we need, more of creativity. We need more of organic food, more of natural, more of nature. Because we are natural beings. Energy that we really intake, it will convert itself, it will be absorbed. We have to get more of the minerals, nutrients, vitamins, carbohydrates that is sufficient. It's really gonna fuel ourselves, our mind, to be more concentrative, to be more attentive, to be more calm, to fight against all the ideas that are coming in our mind. A food is really more essential. If there wasn't food, I don't see a use for people going to church, because they need help so that they can keep on going each and every day. They need food. A food is more essential. 99% of people that go out in work daily, they need to maintain, to sustain themselves so that they can eat daily, to feel more energetic. What really gives you more energetic of acting upon? These trees. They have photosynthesize. They have chlorophyll that give off for us to feed on. Where it's balance, where it's conjugate base of existence. We have to allow each and everything, each and every creation to be. We are the door for the creation to come in a being. That's why we are the chosen ones. So that's why to factualize that we are the chosen ones, we came in creation existence to create. We choose ourselves to come here. We have to take care of our own mind ideas for the interaction of the human system. Find more of the pineapples, more of vegetables, more of protein food, peanuts, beans, balancing your diet. Where I am, I'm in a blessed country among the world, the creation, African, South African. We provide food for the countries. It's aligned with my purpose. I need this food. That's why I was born in this world, in this country, so that I can have more access of what really I have to intake of the sun. The sun that I get is part of what I feed on. The love that I really have for myself. It's food for myself. The love that I give, that I radiate for people around, it's food for the creation. What I think, I'm giving food for the creation. All the wave, everything is connecting. We're talking, we're communicating. Me, trees, me, this lands, everything. We are connecting. Bacteria, cyanobacteria, we need them. We don't have to kill animals. That's why I mentioned empathy. The more when we start mentoring, I don't need to elaborate more about murdering animals that are being killed each and every moment of every day to feed people, and they're getting used up. They're coming with more of GMOs, genetically modified food, genetically modified product. They want to evolve a human. That's why we're more intelligent in a technological way, because we are more of a chip. We're very cheap. That's why you feed on these cheap animals. Cheap waters, free waters. Everything is free. We just have to tell the creation that what we need. It's a process, and this process, it's a journey for us to exist. We have to live in such a way that we can inspire generations that are coming. That's our own purpose. We create this human growth. I grow my hair. I don't feed them by all these chemicals. They grow itself naturally by the food that I'm really intaking, by the thoughts that I'm really giving. Food that I'm really eating daily. They're contributing to the ideas that I'm really conceiving. Because I'm giving them love, life. So they have to give me what I really need, life. And life that is really aligning with my own purpose. I'm finding my prosperity. I'm finding my purpose, my abundance, by feeding all these abundance, trees, fruits, and vegetables that I'm seeing. I love more going to the shop, getting inside, and check the expiry date. Why is the expiry date on the food? You have to question that. Those are more essential abilities that changes life. I'm witnessing them daily and daily. I'm becoming more of myself. I'm really expanding, evolving to a better. I'm not saying this was, but I mean that. You just have to find yourself, free yourself, find your purpose, your mission. Have faith. Have a beautiful day. Have a lovely life. Thank you.